What if I told you that you're playing a game right now and it has hidden rules that no one ever taught you? The simple fact that you're watching this isn't just a coincidence. Maybe it was a slip of the algorithm, a random click. But what if it wasn't? What if this moment was already programmed to happen? The truth is, there's an invisible code that controls your life, your achievements, your failures, the patterns you see every day, but only a few people know about it. The question is, do you want to keep playing without knowing the rules, or are you ready to unlock everything that's hidden? If you think your reality is fixed, think again. Science has already proven that your mind influences matter. Spiritual masters have always known this. Plato called it the world of ideas, and the Egyptians talked about the ka. If nourished correctly, it would ensure balance, protection, and even the manifestation of desires and intentions into reality. The point of all this is, life doesn't happen to you. It responds to you, and if you understand that, you can change absolutely everything. Now tell me, do you want to keep playing on hard mode, or do you want to access the codes that will make you win? If so, pay close attention, because everything starts now. Have you ever noticed how some people seem stuck in an endless loop, repeating the same patterns, making the same choices, living the same life without ever questioning anything? They wake up, grab their phone, go to the job they hate, come home, watch whatever's on TV, and go to sleep. The next day, they do it all over again, and again. Like a background character in a game, unaware that there's an alternative path. These people aren't players. They're NPCs, non-playable characters, programmed to follow a script they didn't even write. In spirituality, this goes deeper than it seems. NPCs are those who live on autopilot, accepting everything imposed on them without questioning. They believe life is already determined, that their limitations are real, that their dreams are unattainable. And the worst part? They don't even realize they're in this mode, but what if I told you that right now you can decide to step out of that role? Because in this game called life, there are two types of people, NPCs and real players. NPCs go with the flow. Players create the flow. NPCs react to life. Players shape reality. NPCs believe destiny is uncontrollable. Players know they can rewrite their own code. And here's the secret. The game doesn't force you to be an NPC. You accept that role. The problem is, no one ever taught you this. Since childhood, they told you to obey, to follow a predefined path, to believe what everyone else believes. The system wants you to be an NPC. Society pushes you into this role, but the truth is, you can wake up. You can take control and truly play. And if you're here, reading this, then something inside you has already awakened. You already feel that something's off, that life can't just be what they told you it is. Nothing in the universe happens without a reason. Everything you see, feel, and experience is an energetic response to what you project. That's the biggest rule of the game, the invisible rule that few understand, but it controls absolutely everything. Imagine your life as a mirror. Whatever you put in front of it, it reflects back to you. If you smile, the reflection smiles. If you close yourself off, it does the same. The universe works exactly the same way. And this is where many players fail. They think the game is against them, that life is unfair, that things just happen without explanation. But the truth is, reality always responds to your frequency. In Hermeticism, this law is called the principle of correspondence. In the world of quantum physics, they call it the collapse of the wave function. In simple terms, it means that what you project, you receive. If you live in the frequency of fear, you attract situations that feed that fear. If you're vibrating scarcity, everything around you reinforces that scarcity. But if you start vibrating at the frequency of abundance, possibilities, and confidence, then that's exactly what life gives back to you. In the game of life, every thought and every action are like commands entered into the system. If you keep typing failure over and over, the game delivers situations that confirm that experience. But if you start entering growth, opportunities, expansion, reality has to reconfigure itself to match that. That's the big key. Give to receive. And it's not just about money or material things. It's about energy. When you give generosity, you receive generosity. When you offer support, you receive support. When you spread knowledge, you gain wisdom. That's why spiritual masters have always taught the power of gratitude, charity, and unconditional love. They didn't say it out of naive kindness. They understood the energetic mechanics behind everything. Giving and receiving aren't separate events. They're two sides of the same coin. If you've ever felt like your life is stuck, that nothing changes, that everything seems jammed, stop and observe. What are you sending into the game? What do you think about every day? What do you say about yourself? What do you believe is possible? Because, in the end, the universe can only give back what you're willing to give. Mind programming. Everything you see around you, everything that happens in your life, every experience you go through, none of it is random. Every detail is a direct reflection of your subconscious mind. It's like a hidden source code running in the background, determining your reactions, decisions, and even the opportunities you notice or ignore. And here's what almost no one tells you. Your subconscious doesn't question anything. It simply runs what it's been programmed with. Since childhood, your mind has been fed commands. Some of these instructions came from your parents, others from school, society, and the media. You learned what's possible and what's not, what you deserve and what you don't, what you should fear and what you should pursue. But what if a lot of that programming is wrong? If you've been programmed with fear, scarcity, and self-sabotage, that's exactly what the system will run. You can work hard, you can try everything to change your life, but as long as the source code is corrupted, nothing changes. Now, let me share a story with you. In a distant village, there was a young man named Elias. He was born into a community that believed in an ancient legend. They said there was a great sacred river that separated the village from a land full of wealth and opportunity. But according to the elders, no one could ever cross that river. Since he was a child, Elias heard the elders repeat, "The river is impossible to cross. Anyone who tries will be swept away by the current." Over time, he, like everyone else, accepted this as the truth. He grew up, lived his life within the limits of the village, dreaming about the land beyond the river, but never daring to cross it. Until one day, a traveler passed through. He saw Elias staring at the horizon and asked, "Why don't you cross?" Elias laughed. Because it's impossible. We've always been told the current would take us away." The traveler smiled and simply said, "But I just crossed that river. The current isn't strong. The water doesn't even reach your waist." Elias was in shock. His entire life, he had believed in a limitation that didn't even exist. He had never even tried to cross, and all because he was programmed to believe it was impossible. How many people live exactly like this? How many have never tried to cross their own limits because they were conditioned to believe they couldn't? The subconscious mind works the same way. If you were programmed to believe that money is hard to earn, you'll always face financial struggles. If you were taught that you're not capable, your own mind will create barriers to make that feel true. The good news, you can reprogram your code. You can replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. You can remove the commands that are holding you back. You can install new instructions that unlock your true potential. Your subconscious doesn't care what you put into it. It just obeys. Reality doesn't happen to you. It responds to you. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions aren't just reactions to the outside world. They are the outside world. What you feel internally projects outward and shapes how everything happens around you. You're editing your reality every second, whether you realize it or not. But here's the detail that almost no one notices. Manifestation doesn't start with desire. It starts with focus. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. What you mentally reinforce expands. That's why two people can be in the same situation and have completely different experiences. The difference isn't in the life they live, but in the version they choose to see. Your brain works like a camera. It's always capturing information, but you only see what's in the frame. And what defines that frame? Your beliefs and emotional state. Science has already proven that the human brain ignores more than 99% of the information around you. Your reticular activating system filters what's relevant based on what you believe is important. If you believe there are no opportunities, your brain literally discards signs of new possibilities. If you believe people will always disappoint you, your focus will be drawn to finding evidence of that. And here's what no one tells you. What you see today isn't a reflection of reality. It's a reflection of the programming you've accepted. Manifestation happens because your perception trains your mind to find what you've chosen to focus on. If you decide to focus on progress, your system starts filtering information that leads to growth. If you keep reinforcing the negative, your mind blocks any alternative paths. This isn't magic. It's selective perception. Your greatest power isn't in asking the universe for something new. Your greatest power is in training your mind to see and act based on what you want to create. Ancient wisdom and hidden knowledge. If reality is shaped by perception, then the big question is, who controls that perception? Throughout history, those who understood the secrets of the mind and manifestation were called masters, philosophers, magicians, or initiates. From the Hermetic traditions of ancient Egypt to the Vedic texts of India, there are records of knowledge that transcend civilizations and cultures. The external reality is a reflection of the internal consciousness. Plato was one of the first to document this in the West. In his theory of the world of ideas, he described physical reality as a shadow of a higher plane, a distorted reflection of the true essence of things. This concept echoes across various spiritual traditions, such as Buddhism, which teaches that matter is nothing more than an illusion sustained by the conditioned mind. But it's not just ancient philosophy. In the early 20th century, Florence Scovel Shinn, in her book The Game of Life and How to Play It, revealed that life responds to what we project onto it. She described the human mind as a creative mechanism where our thoughts, words, and beliefs function as commands for the game of existence. And if all of this sounds abstract, just look at what modern science has been discovering. Quantum physics has already shown that the observer's consciousness alters the behavior of subatomic particles. The universe reacts to the attention we give it. What ancient masters taught through parables and spiritual practices, science is now beginning to translate into equations. But understanding this is just the first step. To truly play this game at a higher level, you need to understand how your mind works and how to access your true potential. The human mind is not a single entity. It operates on 3 levels, each with a specific function, but interconnected as parts of the same system. The first level is consciousness, the rational and logical part, the one that analyzes, plans, and makes decisions. It's the mind of the present, the one you use to solve problems, make choices, and interpret reality based on what's in front of you. But consciousness alone is just the surface. Behind it lies the subconscious, where all your beliefs, fears, traumas, and patterns are stored. The subconscious is the source code running in the background. It doesn't question, argue, or reason. It simply executes what it has been programmed with. And then there's the third level, the least understood but the most powerful: superconsciousness. Superconsciousness is the field of infinite possibilities. It's your connection to something greater, to universal intelligence, to the creative source. Some call it intuition, others divine inspiration. It's that silent voice that brings answers without logical explanation, that whispers directions your rational mind can't comprehend. Accessing superconsciousness means unlocking the highest levels of the game. It's like activating a cheat code that allows you to transcend the limitations imposed by the subconscious and rewrite your reality with a whole new level of clarity and power. But here's the key point. Most people never learn how to operate between these 3 levels. They stay trapped in surface-level consciousness, controlled by a subconscious programmed by the past, without ever accessing the unlimited power of superconsciousness. If you've made it this far, it's because you've already started to realize that something bigger is going on. And now that you know reality can be edited and the mind is the source code, what are the tools to rewrite this system? This is where we dive into cheat codes, the hidden commands that few people know how to use correctly. Many people underestimate positive affirmations, thinking they're just empty motivational phrases. But what science and ancient masters have known for millennia is that words are codes that reprogram the mind and affect quantum reality. Neuroscience has already shown that the brain doesn't distinguish between something real and something imagined with intensity. If you keep telling yourself, "I am prosperous, I am abundant, I am a magnet for opportunities," your brain starts reinforcing those neural connections and directing your perception to find evidence that supports this new reality. In quantum physics, the field of infinite possibilities responds to the vibration you emit. If your mental frequency is aligned with scarcity, everything around you will confirm that reality. But if you change this internal code, your external reality has to adjust. The key here isn't just to mechanically repeat words, but to feel them. Affirmations work when they are charged with emotion and belief. You're not just saying something, you're installing a new operating system inside your mind. But like every great game, life isn't just made of easy moments. There are levels that seem impossible to beat, challenges that test every part of your existence. In shamanism, these difficulties are seen as initiation portals, necessary phases to elevate your level of consciousness. In Buddhist tradition, pain is understood as the fire that purifies, burning away the illusions of the ego and revealing deeper wisdom. In games, the hardest moments always hold the greatest rewards. A powerful boss always protects a great treasure. The more challenging the level, the more experience you gain by overcoming it. Now, think about it. What if every difficulty you face is actually a rite of passage? What if, instead of resisting, complaining, or running away, you faced every obstacle as a portal to a new level? The universe is constantly testing your readiness. Challenges don't show up to punish you. They show up to prepare you. If you learn to see each challenge as an opportunity, resistance disappears and evolution accelerates. But here's the secret that few understand: this game is already won. The greatest spiritual masters have always pointed to the same truth. You've already won because the soul is eternal and consciousness transcends matter. The game was never about winning or losing. It has always been about experiencing, learning, and evolving. The only real defeat is not playing, staying still, hiding, pretending there's no path to follow. But now that you understand the hidden rules of this game, what's your next move? But before you go, there's something important you need to do right now. A special video has been prepared for you that builds on everything we've talked about here and takes this knowledge to the next level. Don't ignore this call. Click on the video appearing on your screen and let's continue this journey together. See you there.